go over the minutes. The last
Yes.
month's meeting.
Yeah.
So who Larry, did you make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Ed seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion's carried. And we'll start with the 239 referrals.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm using my other computer. I'm going to try it again this week, this month. Okay. Okay.
There we go.
So we have two items on the agenda, two referrals on the agenda this evening. The first is 21001V. It is from the Town of Clover Planning Board. Its applicant is Clover Land Co. LLC by Barclay Damon LLP. The location is 341 New York State Route 217, which is the site of the Pine Haven, existing Pine Haven. Let me.
We got Rick in there.
Oh, Rick's here? Okay.
You're muted, Rick.
How's that?
Hi, Rick.
Hello.
Hey, Rick.
Yo.
We just started with the first referral, the Clover Land Co. referral. So the proposed action is to construct an assisted living facility. It's approval of a site plan and special use permit within 500 feet of a municipal boundary and a state highway. The existing zoning is RC. The existing land use is a nursing home. The surrounding is residential and ag. And the parcel actually is 15.6 acres actually, but the entire parcel was 56 acres initially. And there was a subdivision that occurred, which was just included in this application as reference only. But they created two parcels, and I'll get to that in a second. But this is generally a good overview, this little image. This shows 217, the access road. This is the existing skilled nursing facility, 120 bed. This is the original county home that is vacant and it's been abandoned for many, many years. That is proposed to be demolished to construct a new facility here, which will be an assisted living facility. There are a few things also on the site that will, this building will be, as I mentioned, demolished. There's also a cell tower that will remain. There's an existing water tower that will be removed. And this fire building, test building will remain as well. Okay. Here are some images. If you want to, we can look through these. These show the entrance drive coming into the existing facility. Oops, sorry. I tried a new system and this system is a little flawed, so, okay.
Patrice, wasn't there a concrete storage building? Wasn't that supposed to be destroyed too, or was I wrong keeping that?
No, there's Let's go back down. It's easier this way.
Thought I saw something on one of the things about a concrete storage building.
Yeah, that shows. I can show you that on the site plans once I get to that screen. Okay, again, so this is the existing facility. Just to give you an idea. And here is this parcel there are two separate parcels now. This parcel is where the existing skilled nursing facility is located. And this parcel will contain the proposed facility. But they further subdivided, and we'll get to that, show you.
Well, that cell tower's right in the middle of this rehabilitation center.
Yes.
Wow.
But there's a very steep ravine behind this, so
Yeah.
which is precluding it from really expanding this way without increasing the costs considerably.
How are they going to access that training tower then? From another way or what?
Yeah, I'm getting down to the drawing. These larger drawings are tricky to show. This is just an image of the proposed facility with the parking in the front, small amount of parking in the front and the access drive. You can see, make it a little smaller so you can see the whole thing. So it's 3 stories. This is the second referral that we've had. The first was from the Zoning Board of Appeals, and it was for an area variance to exceed the maximum allowable height, and the other variance was for a side yard setback. That side yard setback that they were decreasing was actually adjacent to the other parcel that is under the same ownership, and it was both of those variances were granted to the applicant. Okay, so this is the proposed. And again, this is the existing facility. This is the entranceway here. And there's another access road here as well. They will be maintaining both of those access drives. One will be used, continue as it is as the entrance to the facilities, and the other being used for service and maintenance primarily, and emergency access. So the proposed facility is here with additional parking in this area and also employee parking to the rear. There'll be a loading dock back here in this area. There's also a couple of retaining walls, one in this area and one over here. The stormwater, there's a stormwater basin here with a bioretention area located here. Get a little bit bigger. They're proposing some additional light poles to be added and also to replace fixtures on existing poles, but there will be new lighting involved with this. And again, here is the test building that will remain. The water tank will be demolished. And this is what you were referring to, Mallory, the basement building demolished. Yeah. I couldn't show it to you on the other map for the location of that. Okay. So this new facility will be 150 beds. and it will have a lounge area, library, cafe, also a theater and a fitness center. And it will have a variety of living spaces, singles, semi-private, and private. There's municipal water and sewer with the village of Philmont, and both will require an extension for this increase in use, and that review and approval is underway with the village. The connections are here off of 217. As I mentioned, the two access drives, they are both existing, and one will be improved on the eastern end, this one. And then the staff, as I mentioned, would come around to the rear, and there's a staff entrance to the back of the building here. There'll be the dumpsters in the rear over here, also propane tanks here, and their generator is located in this area. This shows the retaining wall, one of the retaining walls, a detail of that, and then the proposed signage. To the landscaping plan. Okay, I mentioned the detention pond, the bioretention area. This is a little, you can see it a little bit more clearly in the color here. And they're also proposing additional plantings on site, both deciduous and coniferous. And it's all with the new construction, nothing proposed on the existing skilled nursing facility. Okay, so I mentioned the subdivision, which was has been approved, but it wouldn't be part of our review. So this is the 15-acre parcel, and this is the 34-acre parcel. It's parcel 1 and parcel 2. Okay. There's also, because of disturbing more than 1 acre, they're also prepared a stormwater pollution and prevention plan that was submitted. It's also within 500 feet of ag parcels. Let's see if I can get to those. So an ag data statement was prepared. The ag district parcels are across the road on 217. Do you want me to pull that map up so you can see those? Anybody? No. Okay. So the staff recommendation of this is approval. We're recommending that there would be positive countywide air acuity impact from this. And the considerations are compatibility of various land uses with one another, protection of community character as regards predominant land uses, population density, and the relation between residential and non-residential, and official municipal and county developmental policies, as well as matters related to public convenience, governmental efficiency, and achieving of and maintaining a satisfactory community environment. A few comments. We also noting that access off of 217, the improvements will require approval from New York State DOT. Emergency access, recommending that the local fire chief review these plans. Also suggesting there would be a determination if there needed to be additional safety measures around those propane area. Didn't appear that there are any bollards proposed around them. Noting that the stormwater, the disturbance was greater than 1 acre, and that a SWIP was needed to be prepared and that it was submitted. And also the ag data statement was required and that it was prepared and submitted. I want to note that the positive impact is, it will increase the options for senior citizens in Columbia County. Columbia County does have an aging population, and faced with the issue of availability for affordable housing for seniors. And a recent census population estimates for those 65 and older continues to increase. And right now it's about 22% of the population over 65. And that trend is expected to continue for the foreseeable future, at least for the next 20 years or so. These are based on trends that are projecting out current trends to the future. They're not necessarily projections, they're just trending out. Also noting that it's replacing an existing facility on an existing site, and it will not change with any significance the coverage of the land. It will replace an existing building that has been unused for a number of years. And it's expected also to create construction jobs and future jobs, permanent full-time and part-time jobs when the new facility opens. So for those reasons, we're suggesting and recommending approval for the new assisted living facility at Pine Haven.
Patrice, do we know how many beds it's increased by?
This will be 120 beds. 100, yes, 150, I'm sorry. The existing facility is 120 and the proposed is 150.
Oh, is that 150 extra beds then?
Yeah.
More? Okay.
Yeah.
This is assisted living, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's not going to help the nursing home part of it.
This is the breakdown of bedrooms on the 3 floors, 150 beds total.
But I think it's a great project. I would just add the comment that the Columbia County Planning Board appreciates them reutilizing the existing space and expanding on it appropriately. It's a good project to start the year off with.
It is.
I don't know what to do next month, Patrice.
I'll make a motion. We accept staff's recommendation with the chairman's additional comment.
Patrick will second.
Patrick seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Hey, Rick.
Rick's on mute again.
He's just playing that pen with his drumming and that. He can't stop. That's what it is.
Okay, the second referral is From the town of Canaan, 21002V. The Town of Canaan Planning Board, the applicant is Peter Bartlett. The location is 146 Flint's Crossing Road, and it's establishment of a farm winery. It's approval of a site plan. This, again, we received this referral from the Canaan ZBA, so this is the second referral for this project. We made a number of comments on the application previously submitted. But this is for site plan review with the planning board. It's within 500 feet of county road, or excuse me, a state highway and the thruway. Its existing zoning is C2. The existing land use is ag and residential. I'll make this a bit bigger. The surrounding land use is residential and commercial. The parcel is a little over 5 acres, and the structures are existing. So site plan review is required to establish a New York State farm winery in existing structures. It would be called the Home Range Winery. So this is the existing residence on site with garage, and the barn is also existing, and that is what has been retrofitted for the winery and tasting room. They're proposing gravel parking and driveway access with this loop road here. Sorry. Trying to show you the expanded parking on the other side of the road. They're also proposing that the parcel across the way, which is under the same ownership, that this area would be available as an expanded parking area if needed. They're also showing a area back here for Harvest Host parking. The vineyard across the way here is 22 acres. The use is currently licensed by the New York State Liquor Authority as a New York State farm winery. It produces wine using 100% of New York State products. And some of the things that they're authorized to do is produce on-site New York State wine, meat, cider, and to sell for off and on-premise consumption. They may also sell in bulk to other New York State licensed farm wineries, distilleries, breweries, cideries, meaderies, also wholesale or retail. They may conduct tastings and sell on-premise, at retail for consumption on or off-premise, and also may have sell gift items incidental to the sale of wine and food complementary to the tastings. They must manufacture at least 50 gallons with a maximum of 250,000 gallons annually. So as I mentioned, the winery is in this structure here with tasting room. The other existing structures will be remain. The access is existing and off of Flint's Crossing Road. They're proposing to a sign here that will be lit from below. The well is located right here. The septic system, they've actually needing to add an additional leach field for the tasting room. There's one here that serves for the house. I mentioned before the Harvest Host parking here, and Harvest Host is actually it's a membership program for RVs and campers where you can have an overnight stay with your RV on site, and it's promoting farms and wineries and breweries. And for the Department of Health reviews up to 5 RV stays overnight. There's also Army Corps of Engineer wetlands on site to the rear parcel.
So a winery only makes wine, right? They don't grow the grapes here.
Well, they have a vineyard here, so, but they could use their own or from, it just has to be grown in New York State. But we didn't, the first referral, we had a number of comments, which I included in the summary sheets that I provided. And we didn't find any countywide impact from that. And I'm also recommending no countywide impact with this site plan either. Just a few comments that first, Columbia County Department of Health suggests that they contact them with respect to any reviews necessary for food preparation on site and also for the on-lot septic system. Also, with respect to harvest hosts, that a determination be made if the use requires review by the Columbia County Department of Health. They were not specific about the number of RVs that will be allowed or permitted on site. And also for the wetlands on the EAF that was submitted on question 13, suggesting that they revise that because the question indicated that there weren't any wetlands on site, and there in fact are wetlands to the rear of the proposed uses. So those three comments from the staff.
Does the fact that it's got the camper, does that then bring up another use, secondary use as a campground?
Well, it depends on how many and how long. So the ZBA decision indicates that they didn't consider it to be a campground. I'm not sure that the planning board has made that determination. I don't have the denial from the code enforcement officer. So I don't believe that it's being considered as a campground or a separate use, but I just think that that should be made clear.
Oh, yeah.
Either on the site plan or somewhere in the resolution, or if it is being considered a separate use, that the reviews by the Department of Health are undertaken.
I mean, are there hookups for these campers, or are they just like parked in the parking lot?
They're parked here. They're not just, there's nothing included with the application with hookups or anything like that.
It does them to be hooked up. I mean, just the way they're sort of randomly thrown about, it looks like, you park where you can find a spot, and
well, right here is this
and you're self-contained, right?
It's supposed to be designated. If you recall that when we had the referral the last time, it was a aerial photograph, and there were notes placed on that. And since then, they've submitted an actual site plan. So this is much more thorough than what the ZBA submitted to the county.
Now, I got a question. You got the house leach field and you've got the tasting room leach field. How about the winery leach field? What are they doing to get rid of their water? Is that going in the tasting room leach field or what?
I don't have any specifics on that.
You use quite a bit of water with a winery where the washing of the grapes and stuff like that, and it's got to go somewhere. But I don't see where it was going to go here.
As for clarification on a note on the site plan for the use of that leach field, if it pertains to just the tasting room or to the wine production.
The winery itself, the plan itself.
Yep.
Sensible question,
Yep.
Another thing, Patrice, that I noticed was they're going to be holding private events. I wonder if there should be some sort of limitation put on the size of those events based on the space that they've got, parking, etc. Hours of operation.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good thing. I'm glad to see they did the much more thorough job with the site plan. It's just a matter of the planning board making sure everybody's on board with the proper resolution when they do their approval, if they approve it.
I mean, I'm not familiar with this area, so I just looked on Google Maps to see where it is. I mean, it's almost in Massachusetts. Seems like a good use for property where it's located. I mean, that property behind it is Interstate 90, so that's the throughway run there.
I believe it's already opened in operation.
Yeah.
I mean, up at the other end of one end of Flint's Crossing, you have a Burvey excavation with his excavation equipment. You've got the storage facility, and you've got a log storage facility, which is huge.
Long storage facility.
Again, I'm not in, implying that they have to limit it, but they should have some sort of an idea what the capacity would be there.
I agree. There's these are all things that should be, ironed out, and I think they will.
So where is the winery? Where are they making the wine?
Right
In
here.
the house?
In this building, no. This
all
Tasting room?
So
this is a barn. It's an existing barn, and the tasting room is on one level,
one
and
level,
the winery is on another level.
It's two-story barn then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering because I was showing tasting room there, and I don't see. It doesn't show actually winery, but I see this. The tasting room is upstairs then.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, the details were included with the ZBA referral, but they didn't really give us a lot of information with any information on the interior when the planning board sent the referral in. So
It almost looks like that deck is on the second floor then, right?
that I'm not sure.
What's the food truck all about?
You got to eat when you drink.
Well, when they received the referral from the ZBA, they mentioned that as one of the potential future uses. And that was one of the comments that we submitted, that all of the existing and proposed uses be identified on the site plan, and food trucks were one of those that were included in the referral from the ZBA. So
That could be for events too,
Yeah, but you put the food truck where your traffic's coming through.
well, it's right here behind this existing garage. So this is where people enter the tasting room here, the entranceway.
But that's the driveway there.
Pardon?
That's the driveway.
This is the driveway here, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little. I mean, I think they put it on there just to put it on there. That's something Canaan can work out. You wouldn't put it on the other side of the parking area when you could put it around back, so people don't have to walk through the coming and going of the traffic. But they got it on there. That's good that they at least mention it. So. Okay, so Mallory, the way the game works is that I should have said before, we have three options basically: approval, disapproval, and sometimes we send some of the larger projects back looking for modification of them. If a project doesn't meet any one of those three standards, then we have local decision. In other words, we just say that we don't feel that this will have an impact on Columbia County and doesn't come up to the level of the standards, which I believe Patrice forwarded you in the package that you get. So just so you understand, and quite often what the board, and I would say it is that I look at it, and when I was chairman of the Austerlitz Planning Board, I appreciated very greatly the input from this board on the projects that we had in Austerlitz. But it's like another set of eyes looking at something. We're not looking to be critical of that of the local planning board, just kind of offering some advice, type of thing. And sometimes it's from driving down the road and we see that hey, that's a bad bend in the road there. They may want to do something there for site, or just working out an agreement, or lighting. Sometimes we mention handicap parking, which do they have that delineated on there, Patrice?
One spot.
Right here.
Okay, so those types of things. Mallory, just so you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
And don't hesitate to ask questions as we go along. So, okay, so if there's any questions or comments? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Tim,
Yeah, Ed?
I think it's important you point out to Mallory also that there is an onus put on the board's position if the position of either approval or disapproval is taken and the local board wants to take a less stringent position, that local board would need the majority plus one of their board to overturn the county recommendation.
Yeah, thanks, Ed.
All right. Yeah, I read that. Thank you.
Okay, so is there anybody want to make a motion? Also move local decisions. Comment or add it to the second?
Second.
I'll second.
Seconds. All those in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
I'm reading Rick's lips there. It looks like he said aye.
Who was the second? I'm sorry. Who was the second?
Larry.
Thank you.
Rick's still on mute. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There he is. He's back.
He's back.
Thanks for joining us, Rick.
Playing his guitar.
Oh,
Wants to hear it.
So I don't know if any of you tuned in this morning or this afternoon, I guess 12 o'clock there, the New York Planning Federation had a webinar. I don't know if any of you caught that or not about how to work with elected officials. Mallory, being an elected
Yeah, I did.
official, what'd you think?
Excuse me.
What'd you think of it coming from the elected official?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It talked about a lot of the interactions that, should or shouldn't happen between planning boards and zoning boards and elected officials. So that was good. It's always nice to have sort of a refresher on that. And know where you are.
I was chairman of the town of Austin's planning board, and Ed, you and Patrice, you as planners in the planning department. There's always I always found it was like this little gray area. You wanted to keep the town board abreast of what was going on at the planning board, but yet you didn't want to accept any pressure from them of any kind or anything like that. So, but you didn't want to all of a sudden spring to them that, hey, I got this county outhouse project that's gonna go ballistic here. You didn't want them to have to read about it in the newspapers, which was what happened in one of ours, the controversial project. So it's a line of communication that you have to have, but yet you gotta walk a fine line sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
But it's good to have always good to have communications with it, which I thought was one of the best things they
I would agree.
And I guess we're gonna have two more in the series, one more in February and one more in March. And I've got a Planning Federation Board of Directors meeting. I should have more information on what's going on with training and such. That's not this Saturday, but the Saturday after that. So
Are they looking at the conference for next year or this year?
no, they're gonna try and put together some remote sessions. I really, the whole webinar thing is taken off and Zoom and everything. People seem to be, I don't know, you'll have a conference again.
Well, they said they had 300 plus people today.
Right. Yeah, that was right.
That's a very good turnout for a noontime presentation.
Yeah, so definitely not this year. And I think if eventually the Planning Federation may get back to just doing like day-long seminars, like we did down at Hyde Park, stuff like that. But as far as a full-blown conference, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what the rest of the board of directors want to do. Or it'd be interesting to see what the general public wants to do going forward too. Is Tanglewood going to be as crowded in years to come over here in Massachusetts, stuff like that? I know my job site's a lot quieter now. I don't know about Rick.
Right now it is.
I mean, everybody puts a mask on right away. It's not even. It came in phases. Everybody, if somebody came onto the job site, it was, well, do you want me to wear a mask? And then now, as soon as they get out of the truck or whatever, and they come into my job, they've got the mask on just second nature like. So
We'll have to see what's left after this inauguration tomorrow. How much they're going to tear up the country? That's a big problem.
hopefully there won't be any problems.
Take your gun to work with you tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, Teresa, did you have anything else to bring before this illustrious board?
I do not tonight.
So then go forth, Teresa, see if you can't come up with something as good as Pine Haven for next month.
Yeah, there you
See what I can do.
There's
go. There you go.
nice job of reviewing it, and I think that is going to
Thank
be
you.
a good project for the county all around.
We don't have any solar projects tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I know.
amazing.
That's every month.
No. Nope. Okay, well, I guess we'll stand adjourned then if nobody has anything else to bring before this illustrious board at 12 minutes after 7. And Waldo, thank you for your help this evening. And okay. Those other guys, just put them on mute. Okay, well, good night, everybody.
All right.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Take care.
Thank you.
Take care, Rick.
Yeah. See you all.
Thank you.
You're back playing that guitar, Rick.
That's right.
Christina, you want to come and cut me off here?
Ed, Larry, wait before you go. I
Yeah.
did forget something.